Hi, this is Omari Haribin, and you're listening to another episode of the Squarespace Entrepreneur Podcast. Today's guest is Roberto Hoyas, founder of Throwboy Pillows. We actually recorded this episode about a year ago, shortly after the pandemic started, and just getting around to publishing it now. So here we go.
My name is Roberto Hoyas. I am a business coach, and I also own a company called Throwboy that makes fun designer throw pillows. I've been doing that online as an e-commerce store, throwboy.com, for 11 years now. And you probably have seen some of my work. We were the first to introduce emoji pillows, which turned into like a really big phenomenon. And then now we do some pillows that look like computers and all sorts of shapes and different kind of whatever people are into, like, avocados. That's one thing we do now because that's trendy. I have a passion for branding, and I have a passion for helping other entrepreneurs, especially product-based entrepreneurs, make their dream products come true. So I teach courses on how to do Kickstarter. I've done 5 successful Kickstarters in the past, and all my Kickstarters have gotten funded. So I decided to start helping people like that. And product guy, just like to make stuff and kind of put passion behind it. And I don't want to just sell other people's stuff. I'm not really one of those people. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Man, so all right, so take me back because I don't think you can't be that much older than me. So when you say 11 years, I'm like, okay, you've been doing this for a while. So what was like your first entrepreneurial venture?
Well, I would say it was the Throwboy, because before that I didn't have a business, nothing besides like, being a little kid and doing like a lemonade stand or something. But I was really into Apple, and I was really into marketing. And back in 2007, I used to work at the Apple store. And I knew I wanted to get into marketing, and I knew I wanted to do stuff like that, but I didn't know how I would get my kind of foot in the door. And I knew I liked to make things too. And so just sort of what happened was I handmade some pillows that looked like computer icons, and I gave them to this girl that I was dating just as like a Christmas present. I think that we had like a thing like, oh, this year we're going to give each other handmade stuff or whatever. And we're both into Apple. And so I gave her these pillows, and they ended up going viral online because a blog picked them up. And then I got all this traffic to my website that it crashed. And so I was just like, oh, okay, this is cool. And I didn't really think a lot of it, but my friend kind of pulled me aside, and he's like, this would be a really cool business. You should try to turn this into a business. And I never even thought of selling them, let alone how I would mass produce them or anything like that. Right. So then I kind of just thought about it, and I was like, yeah, that would be dope. Like a brand name pillow company. And maybe we kind of lean more towards kind of nerdy stuff. That would be cool. And so I just kind of launched a website, and this was like in 2008. So everything was all handmade, hand coded. Like it was all, there wasn't an easy way to do that yet. And then basically I sewed the pillows for the first few years. I did everything myself, sewed all the pillows, stuffed all the pillows, shipped all the orders. Then I eventually got help and everything. But in the beginning, I kind of was really transparent about doing that. And I built up a good following from people that were really like, oh, cool, there's this face behind the brand. And I still do that today. Even though I don't sew anything anymore, I still show my face a lot. And, I'm kind of like, I like to say I'm like the Stan Lee of Throwboy. Like I like to be out in front and make sure people know, like, I'm your guide to this, this world of cool pillows.
Yeah, that's funny. Sometimes I think of myself as like the Diddy of the
there you go.
this like ecosystem that I'm in. I'm just dancing in the video. I'm just dancing in the freaking support videos.
All in the videos.
All up in there.
Yeah.
So at what point were you able to like leave the Apple store, or like how were you able to like transition from, Apple employee to entrepreneur making these, Apple inspired products?
So for the first about a year after the whole like viral thing happened, I just sort of was working on it in secrecy, like for about a year, and I would just
Yeah.
wouldn't talk about it. I'd tell like very few people, and then right when I was about to launch, um, miraculously one of the Mac blogs picked up the 1 year old story all over again, and they just blew it up again. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh damn, okay, we have to launch like right
Let's
now.
go.
And so, and this was like me and a couple of friends. I'm like, you guys, we need to launch the website like right now. And then we did it. And then right when it launched, I basically quit my job and was like, I'm gonna go do this right now. And yeah, I remember I talked to somebody, a friend, because I was sort of, I was a new entrepreneur. I didn't even really know what to go off of, and I was like, how should I do this? And he's like, just quit. He's like, what's the worst that could happen? You go back and they'll hire you again. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of been like an all in type of guy where I'm like, well, if I want this to be a thing, I need to put focus on it and I need to just do it. And it's like a sink or swim type of thing. And that's one of those things I definitely encourage people to do. It's like, there's no such thing as a secure job. I mean, look at what happened right now. Like how many people got laid off on their, job they thought they would have forever. And
Yeah.
here we are, two entrepreneurs that are like, oh yeah, kind of business as usual for us, not trying to sound like we're, cocky or something, but like there is no secure thing. So if you're gonna go and do what you want to do, just put all of yourself into it, And so I'm happy I made that decision because I haven't looked back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough decision, man. And I find that like, as much as that's what I live by as well. I'm always a little hesitant to offer it up, just because I know everyone isn't built for that type of, sacrifice,
For
so to
sure.
speak. So like, all right, tell me about the business coaching. So like, it seems like if I'm a D2C brand, right, direct to consumer, is that kind of like your sweet spot, that you
Yeah,
operate in?
I would say so. I think I gravitate more towards people that are doing, like I said, product based, usually physical product based businesses. A lot of the times they're people that may have tinkered around with it and started with actually making it themselves. And I like to help those people just really kind of, yeah, present their brand in a better way that is digestible and that people can understand, and also tell them how to kind of put their face as the brand as well. Because I
Yeah,
found that when I did that, it was like a immediate uptick in interest versus just trying to be behind the scenes the whole time. And because people want a face. I mean, even Apple, people wanted the Steve Jobs face, or now the Tim Cook face. Like there's going to be that curious section of people that want that.
yeah,
Um, and then one of the things I really do is Kickstarter. I help people. I have a course called Hacking Kickstarter, which is actually launching this week, relaunching this week on Friday, the 17th. And that is basically where I took all of my methods of how to get really great press for your Kickstarter, get funding in record time, get people to be rallying around your Kickstarter before it's even coming out, and just all of the kind of methods to make sure your Kickstarter gets not only funded but massively funded, because you have that stage right there to be on Kickstarter. And so, yeah, I love helping entrepreneurs like that are not just the kind of people that you see today where they're like, I'm just gonna go and find whatever's trending and flip it. Like I don't care about that at all. Like if that's something that you do, I'm like fine, but I can't really help you with that because it's just not really. I don't care about it.
yeah,
And a lot of the times, I feel like that's kind of like a means to an end. Like, I don't think those
Mm-hmm.
people really are trying to make real brands. And that's the kind of people I love helping, is people that are really trying to make real brands and not just let me make some bucks and then I'll go do the other thing to make money. Nothing wrong with making money. Making money is awesome, but yeah, making brands is more fun. So that's the kind of
Yeah.
stuff I like helping people with.
So all right. So on the product creation side, do you have like a process? Like how do you, is it just like an idea comes to you? Do you test it out? There seems like there's some virality built into what you do, which makes it successful. Is am I just guessing? Am I on point with that or not? Like how does it work?
So with the majority of what products I make right now are for Throwboy. So that already has it already has a fan base, of course. And since it's around making pillows or making stuff like stuffed products, basically anything that I kind of am working on, I'll usually show it to the fan base beforehand and kind of get a sense of what people are interested in. But I also know my fan base, so I know that a lot of them are into tech and a lot of them are designers and a lot of them are photographers. So I tend to cater towards that. I've definitely tried other product lines that are less successful and then I just have to kill it. I'm very kind of quick to just be like, all right, that's not working anymore. Let's move it along. But as far as the stuff most recently, it's been leaning more towards the tech scene, and I know how to market to that a lot better, I think, because it's just like I am that, I
Yeah,
am
yeah,
I am the
yep.
guy that likes tech. I am the guy that likes Apple. So if I'm kind of scratching my own itch to make something cool, I know how to present it, and especially on Kickstarter. Kickstarter kind of has a
Hmm.
formula. You should kind of follow this formula of what makes a page Kickstarter friendly, if you will. And then
Hmm.
when you have that going, then you'll be able to get the press behind you. You'll be able to, get people interested in it because they can digest it really quickly. But I used to launch products just straight up on my own website and sometimes I would do pre-orders, and it's essentially like a Kickstarter. But then I
Hmm.
found that having a Kickstarter, it really shines a light on what you're doing. And it also has, a visible meter of how well you're doing. So it gets
Hmm.
people more into it. And that's kind of where that virality comes from, is being able to have that total transparency of what you're up to. But also communicating with the audience helps a lot. I mean, you shouldn't take every suggestion, but if you can kind of like distill it and be like, okay, it sounds like a lot of people really want this, like, let me see
Hmm.
what I can do. Or this, whatever thing in pop culture is coming around the corner. Maybe I should have something ready for that.
Yeah.
It's trying to get ready versus being reactive, because if you're
Right.
reactive, then you're
Right.
sort of like 10 steps behind, and it's like, now you just kind of look like you don't know what you're
Yep.
doing, or.
Yeah. Trend hopping
Right, right.
instead of like creating the wave.
For sure.
So, are there any, you mentioned like a particular Kickstarter like format, and of course Kickstarter has its own built-in market and so forth. But in terms of like sales and marketing principles, is there anything that you can kind of extract from that Kickstarter template and apply to a personal website or your business website?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, getting people excited about something beforehand can really have
Hmm.
a great effect on not only getting them like feeling like they have built trust with you, that you can show them
Hmm.
something that's not quite ready, but also guiding you to figure out how to make that product even better. And
Hmm.
I definitely recommend a lot of the same kind of principles. Getting the press to be on your side, because
Right.
the press always needs something to write about. They're always. I mean, content is so quick now, so they're always looking for if you have a cool new product they want to cover or something like that. And what I recommend people doing is going to websites or blogs that cover things in your zone of whatever it is you're doing, and go look through and try to find similar products that people that have been written about, and then find that writer and then actually hit up that writer, and versus just throwing it out there to the entire team, because usually it will get lost.
Yeah.
And so I recommend doing that so that when you're ready to launch, you can have a story to come out about your product when you're ready to launch. And
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have to be a Kickstarter. It could just be your new website. As long as you're put together, that's why
Yeah.
Squarespace is cool. It can make you look really put together. Then they'll write about it. Yeah, exactly. So definitely that. And I use Instagram stories a lot to get people into it, and say like swipe up to join the mailing list to get on this thing when it comes out. So building that anticipation are two really big
Mm-hmm.
principles of getting your fan base sort of primed, so that they're so it's not just, I mean, you know how much content people see every single day, like
Yeah.
you really
Yep.
think that they're really paying hardcore attention to your thing. I mean, the thing is, a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they're gonna piss off their fans or like get, be annoying. And it's like you could ask your best friend tomorrow, like, "Hey, have you seen the thing I just launched?" They're like, no, dude, I haven't seen it yet." Like, because people see so much stuff, so you could literally post an entire like wall all day long of your thing, and you'll probably see one of them. Somebody will see one of
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Like look at a celebrity's account. Like if you look at like Snoop's account, he posts like so many times a day, but I see like one or two of those, because the
Mm-hmm.
algorithm is not going to permit something to just turn into a long block
Yeah.
of just you.
Yep.
So I think it's like getting out of your way and just making sure, like, when you're promoting something or you're about to promote something, you need to go ham. You need to go super hard and just talk about it nonstop. And that's one of the things I see people lighten up on. They're just like, "Well, I already posted it like 2 days ago." It's like, so what?
Yeah, it's good to hear you say that, man, because I'm guilty of that. Um, and it
I think we
really is
all
like,
are.
yeah, you just have to like put these blinders on and get in your zone. And I think as long as, for me, as long as whatever it is that you're promoting, like your heart is in it, then you're good. I
Oh
think
yeah.
when your heart isn't all the way there, or there's some kind of like, you know thing, kind of, I don't know, he got you hung up basically.
Hmm.
Then it can kind of become a little bit more challenging. But as long as you can just be like, yo, why am I even doing this? Okay, now I remember, let me do it. and
Yeah.
and, and get all the other voices out the way.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really well put. Yeah, because if you're not doing it like with feeling, then you need to question
Yeah.
what you're doing. Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, you mentioned like working with entrepreneurs who maybe don't realize how important they are to the brand and maybe want to hide behind it. Like, can you talk a little bit more about that? And you use the word fan base, which is surprisingly something I don't necessarily hear too much outside of like entertainment genres. To entertainment business genres or whatever.
Yeah.
um so like, and for me that kind of helps my mind to think about things. It's like, okay, yeah, obviously these are fans. And so there's like a different relationship than if you were just like, oh, my customers, or my, whatever other
Clients. Yeah.
client, or what other title you want to, give to them. So like, how does that influence like your your process?
Well, as far as helping people show that, being on camera or being the face of their brand is important, I mean, they can look at me as an example. Like, if you go through my posts, and anytime I'm showing up and anytime I'm not, there's a big difference. So people do like to connect with people, even if I show like a model or a few like people modeling with the pillows, like in a lifestyle type of shot. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
people have seen that, so it's just like, it's not really connecting. Yeah, there's people there, but like, do you connect with like a magazine layout of models? Like, not
Yeah.
really, so
Yeah.
there's going to be, not everybody cares about the face of the brand, but there is going to be that layer of people that not
Right.
only want to buy your product, but also want to like read everything about it and learn more. It's the same as when if you're into music and you like a new group or a new band or something like that. Some people just want to listen to the song on the radio, and that's totally
Yeah.
fine. And some people want to like go pick up the magazine that they're interviewed in and like read all about them, and there's like that deeper
Yep.
level. So if you don't offer that deeper level, then you're kind of missing out on those people that have that sensibility to go towards that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what I try to say for people, so it sort of clicks, because if you are into business and you are an entrepreneur, chances are you are reading about other entrepreneurs and learning about them and reading biographies and such and such. So there you go. Like, you are the person that is doing it anyway, and then
Yeah.
you are technically like a fan. And then as far as fan base, I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of relate to liking certain brands. I'm not really like a big brand guy. Like, I don't really wear a lot of things that have like logos or anything like that. But I
Mm-hmm.
do like certain kind of designer, or not designer, but like brands like Apple. I love Apple, or at least I used to really love their Steve Jobs era a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think sort of breaking down, hey, which, maybe you don't think that you're into brands, but brands do actually help us navigate the world to be able to know like what our tastes are and such.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I definitely have, I definitely try to show people that like treating your customers like they're your fans, or some people don't like that word. I don't know. I don't like the word followers either. So,
Yeah,
fans
that's
is
another
fine.
one.
But yeah, treating them like they're this fan, almost like a fan club. Like, we're over here having a great time, and the
Yeah.
rest of the world is not aware of it. So like, maybe
Yeah.
you want to come over here because we have like the cool party over here, and I think having it be sort of like this. Not isolated, but having it be like this, its own thing, its own club, makes people more into it. Even on my email list, it says join our email club. It doesn't say like sign up for our email newsletter or something like that. So
Yeah.
just wording like that, I feel like has helped people feel more at home with the brand, and not just like, oh yeah, I buy my pillows from them, because I mean, that's not fun. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Yeah, man, that's a dope perspective because I definitely those hardcore fans are what keep the brand going. That's what
For
you know
sure.
their motivation and excitement and inspiration is like kind of like that first touch point.
Hmm.
Um, So like talk about give me like a little bit about like the throw boy culture. Like what's the day-to-day operations look like? What's the throw boy team look like? Like how do you create that vibe internally within the company so that the rest of the fans get that same vibe?
Sure. Well, it comes from a very creative place. So we're a very kind of collaborative, creative team. A lot of us work from home anyway, so this kind of thing didn't really change too much of our operations.
Yeah.
Um, but we do have a facility in Seattle, and we call it the Pillow Fort. That's where we work when we do work, or when I want to go to the office, or obviously that's where we ship everything. So we ship everything out of there, and we have all our pillows stored there, and that really helps kind of bring the team's perspective together, the team atmosphere together, for people to go, this is what we're doing. We're doing something different, and that's kind of one thing that I look for whenever I have people that I need to hire. I'm like, look, we're not selling T-shirts here. We're not doing kind of the same thing that a lot of people are doing. We're doing something really unique, and like, look at what people are, how people are responding to that. And that's one of those things that getting the fans, or having them see what the fans' reaction to things are, it helps them understand more that this company's been around for a while and that people really love it. And I think that
Yeah.
makes people step up and go, oh, I'm part of something that's bigger than just, a warehouse full of pillows.
Yeah.
And having it be something that started with just me helps a lot too, because there's a lot of fans that take pride in having really, really old handmade pillows that they got when the company first started.
Yeah.
So we'll do a convention sometimes, and that's where the team will really learn, like, oh man, geez, I didn't realize you did that. Oh, when did you do this limited edition? When did this come out? And then they
Mm-hmm.
get even more kind of invested in the whole atmosphere of wanting to put their best foot forward and make the brand look even better. So it kind of goes both ways. It almost kind of feeds off of the energy that they get from the people that are interested in Throwboy or have been longtime fans.
Yeah.
So looking for that in a hire and everything is very, very important. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do a lot of things. I manage the designers. Sometimes I'll design things. I'll come up with my own designs, or maybe I'll just do a sketch now and just hand it over to one of the designers to finalize. A lot of it comes from my art style, so they kind of like have picked up on how to do that, how to quickly emulate the art style that then will go to the factory,
Mm-hmm.
which is in China, and then they'll come up with the mock-up pillow, and then we will get photos of that pillow, and then we can take that and decide if we want to edit it or anything like that. And then after that, once it's done, we'll get the sample in-house, make sure it looks good, take pictures of it, and then either have it part of a collection that we launch on Kickstarter or just launch it as a new product on the website.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like the flow of getting it from out of your brain into a physical pillow. Because, unlike t-shirts or something, it's like you have to really have it, hold it there in your hand, feel it, see how is it going to look on your couch? How is it going to look, in your room itself?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like the gist of how things work together. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So when you're advising someone on, like e-commerce and getting started with that, where at what point do you say, hey, maybe you should check out Squarespace, or hey, maybe you check out this other platform, since this is the Squarespace Entrepreneur Show?
Yeah. I don't say check out other platforms, first of all. That's why I wanted to be on. No, I love Squarespace. And when I first started, like I said, it was all hand coded. It was all handmade, because back then it was not easy to just, whip up a e-commerce website.
Yeah.
But then a couple of years in, Squarespace added e-commerce. I was like, oh man, I've wanted to try them for quite a while. So I did. And then I'd been on them for like years. And then I tried Shopify for a little while. And then I was like, I don't like this. Like, so I went back. I ended up going back. And now I'm on Squarespace again. And I just think, like, what I recommend is, what are you trying to achieve here? Are you trying to have something that when a customer hears about you and then they come to your website, they feel enchanted by what you have, and it's like, oh, this is a brand, this is a thing that's put together, and it's a high-end brand, let's say. You
Mm-hmm.
can't really do that very well with those other platforms,
Yeah.
because they're very, very cookie cutter, and you can like tell right off the bat if you land on somebody's will not name names website,
Yep.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, oh, how deflating is that if you heard about some really cool brand and you go and it's just like this blah website that has like
Yeah.
no personality. And Squarespace lets you change everything, especially
Mm-hmm.
7.1 is crazy. Like, I'm in love with it. I've been making a site behind the scenes for a while. My current one's 7.0. But I mean, everything you can do, I always tell them, like, well, you can change the whole vibe of your entire website, and you don't even have to like go off of templates anymore.
Yeah.
So you really can make it your own. You can really make it look awesome on mobile. And the content blocks, like that's the coolest damn thing ever. Like you can really do anything with that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I tell people when they're done with their Kickstarter is create your survey on your Squarespace website. So right now, if you were to do a Kickstarter, when it wraps, you have to do what's called a backer survey, and that basically allows people to give you their mailing address and their like other info, and choose what product they want.
Okay.
Because on Kickstarter, they try to say it's not a store, so that you pledge money, but then after the fact, then you decide what you want and you pick it off a survey. And
Um.
so, yeah, so that's how they get around making it seem like it's a pre-order or something like that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so what I do is I tell them, okay, don't use their built-in survey because it sucks and it's just it's really, really, really basic. What you do is you make your own Squarespace survey on your website, and you collect your data there. And then once they hit the submit button, it kicks them to a page where they can add on more items at the same price that they pledged on Kickstarter. So like that increases a lot of people's entire Kickstarter goal, or not goal, but
Yeah.
the amount that they're making, because they can make thousands more on add-ons. And if you tried to do that on like one of these other platforms, it would be like, yeah, you can do that if you bought this app and you pay this app $99
Yeah. Yeah.
a year or $99 a month or whatever. And all the app market stuff on those other platforms, I'm just like, nah, like most, like all this stuff you can do through Squarespace. Why would you need an app for it? It's like this like scam market. I don't know. I just don't like it. Uh, but yeah, so I mean, me personally, when I did one of my Kickstarters, I did that. That was the first year I came up with that idea to do the built-in survey with the add-on page, and
Yeah.
it resulted in $9,000 more dollars of funding from just that.
Yeah.
So, because people are already, they're like happy. They're like, oh, cool, I'm putting it in. I'm selecting what I want. Click next. Oh, actually, yeah, I do want two more of them.
Yep.
Cool. And
Yep.
then they're done. So, I mean, I could go on. I feel like I almost do free ads for them because I'm just like, what are you talking about? Everything else is not even close.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that it's funny and it's ironic because like there is no app market, but I would like to see one.
Well, you know
um.
the ins and outs even more than I do, but I think
Yeah.
if I'm gonna, the one thing I would say is like, I like their email implementation. I've been
Yeah.
using
It's
that.
real nice. Yep.
And I like the e-commerce, but it's lacking. That's the only thing I'm just like, I wish this could get beefed up, and I know it will. But
What's
just
like your top three like wishes on that side?
okay. Better e-commerce tools, because and like they're not even really real time. When you look on the mobile app, they don't tell
Yeah.
you that you got a sale for like, I don't even know, half hour or so. So I would like to see that. um, I would like to see, mm, I don't know, I think that's the main thing. That's the especially now, because I'm playing with 7.1 and I'm like, this kind
Yeah.
of has everything I need now. I have been playing around with implementing the buy buttons from Shopify into a Squarespace 7.1 website, and
Yeah. Did you get that working?
yeah, I think that might be the secret sauce or something right there. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, you could really make a compelling website with 7.1. And then yeah,
Yeah.
you could have your backend be straight up through Shopify buy buttons. And I don't see a snafu in there right now, but maybe there is something I have overlooked, but I don't really see how it could be messed up. So
Yeah.
I really want to play around with it. Maybe do a website kind of relaunch. The only thing, though, maybe I'll ask you this later, is I think I would lose all of my customer accounts from my current Squarespace if I jumped
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, but then
So
I think there's some way to definitely like import that.
Okay.
Export, import. Yeah. But yeah, I've I don't have like an existing example of that kind of integration, but like I've done it a couple times over the years, and it always comes up. And for some reason, because with the Shopify backend, you get a bit more options in terms of like your payment gateways.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
like if you want to do like cash on delivery or certain kind of tax setups, like that's usually where people's hangups are with Squarespace e-commerce, around
Yeah.
those things, because the front end is beautiful and it's easy.
Yeah.
So like having those two work together is definitely, if you can do that, that's kind of like the the best option in my opinion. And
Hmm.
then sometimes I've had clients who like, go that route and then you kind of just like evolve out of Squarespace and just do something. Go back to, your like 2008 custom style.
Mm.
Just
I've heard of
because
that
of,
too. Yeah.
yeah, I know a lot of brands that do that as well. Um, but yeah, man, I thank you, Roberto, for even reaching out, man.
Of
It's
course.
definitely
Thank
been
you.
great getting some of your perspective in terms of like product and marketing and um, how to get started and really how to like think and approach that from like a promotions and a creative angle. Um,
My
is there
pleasure.
do you have anything like coming up that you can share? Like, you got any new products coming? Like, what's coming down the pipe?
Yeah. So on April 17th, I'm relaunching my course Hacking Kickstarter, which I call the Essential Crowdfunding Blueprint. So there, I teach an online course through video where you can learn everything you need to know about how to make a super successful Kickstarter with your product. I had a student actually just launch their Kickstarter 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they got over 8,000 in 5 hours, and that was their full goal. And now they're about $29,000, and they're still going. So
Wow.
they're killing it. I'm super super happy for them. So that course will be launching on my website, shotgunceo.com. If you go to shotgunceo.com, you can see everything that I offer, and you can hit me up if you have any questions about trying to level up your business or your product game. And you can also see the courses that I offer. And then as far as Throwboy, we are releasing a new product line called Pocket Pillows, which is coming out in late May. And that's going to be we just did a Kickstarter for them, so you can look them up there too. But they're small pillows they fit in your hand. They're not really pillows; they're more sort of like a desk toy. So they're
Hmm.
half plush on top and half pellets on the bottom, and they're kind of like these fun fidget toys you can put on your desk. We have a few that look like computers right now. We have one that looks like a camera, one that looks like an avocado. So yeah, pocket pillows. That's a brand new thing that we just dropped, and it's on pre-order now if you want to check it out on throwboy.com.
Word. Nice. Man, thanks again. Definitely, if you're listening, check out that throwboy.com and Shotgun CEO. What's the Shotgun CEO all about? Like, what is that real quick?
Shotgun CEO is where I have all of my courses and everything, and the whole kind of vibe is I'm going to help you. I'm riding shotgun, and I'm going to kind of help you, guide you where you
Uh,
want to go. And then you can get there too, where you're helping other people, or you're helping. You're not really like one of these micromanager type of bosses. You can just sort of ride shotgun, have your eyes on the road, and have your workers and have your help do all the things you need to do. So I definitely talk about having not being one of these entrepreneurs that thinks they need to do every single little thing and always be on and always have their phone buzzing, because I think you can get a lot better work done in kind of chunks and not be like going crazy all day, especially when we have all this time on our hands, right?
yeah, more white space.
Exactly. Yeah.